Hello, everybody. Reggie Time here, and in just a moment, we're going to be looking at some hands I played this morning on the Unibet 25 NL Streets. It's the first video I've made in maybe close to a fortnight. I'm not sure. Um, I've been off work from my day job of providing care for a family who has a young son with autism. I've had a week off from that. I spent a lovely week doing very little um, with my wife. That doesn't sound right, but yeah, we had a nice quiet week. We were meant to do quite a few things. We were going to have a run to Brighton for a few days. We were going to have a run to Blackpool. We were going to have a run to Warrington. We ended up just going to the local Chinese buffet and having a lovely meal there with family, and that was it. But it was nice, just a week of downtime. But that doesn't mean I had a poker downtime. I was still grinding plenty of poker, and that's what I want to touch on before we start. In the start of August, I put a message on the Facebook group, just like sounding out what interest there might be in people using me for some low level, very cheap mentoring. I got a little bit of feedback. I think we got 4 people in, I think. And I've enjoyed doing that. I've been asking on videos for a while now for people to come and create content with me. I just love discussing poker, basically. I'm happy to do it for free if people are willing to make videos with me. If you don't want to make videos but you'd like to tap into my wealth of experience and knowledge, then I am available for very nominal fees, dirt cheap, absolute dirt cheap. We're talking like under £15 an hour, dirt cheap. And for someone who's like not winning at poker at the micro stakes cash, to have access to someone who is a proven winning player for a long time for that hourly rate, I think is pretty reasonable. You're not going to turn into a crusher because of it. Although Limitless did, who started his poker coaching career with little old Reggie. You're not going to turn into a crusher, but you will definitely improve at the game, and you'll certainly get more enjoyment from it if you discuss some things with me and take a lot of the advice on board that I give that cuts through a lot of the bullshit that you see these days in poker circles, be that on streams, be that in Discord groups, be that on forums, be that on Twitter. There's an awful lot of people out there who seem to get really excited about making poker a lot more complicated and complex, and it actually is, especially at the micro stakes. They're out there with all kinds of complex sims, and they're analysing the sim and trying to say why the solvers do. Yeah, it's all relatively interesting stuff. It's also really, really fucking difficult for anyone to take in. I think that the actual level of poker played at the micro stakes in the last few years has gone down. I think players are worse now. I think lots of regs are far worse than they were before the advent of solvers. Some have obviously got a lot better. Lots have got worse. And it's because they don't know what they're doing anymore, and their confidence gets shot to pieces. The regs bluff less than they ever bluffed because now they're waiting for good combinations to bluff with. Like natural bluffs in the olden days. People used to find all their bluffs from natural bluffs. Oh, Mr. Straight Draw, Mr. Flush Draw. I need to bluff sometimes, so I'm going to bluff now. But all of a sudden now, because lots of players like to blather on about fucking blockers quite a lot. They'll be thinking, "Oh, I can't bluff with my flush draw here. I can't bluff," and then they won't find which other bluffs to use. So they just will chronically under bluff, whilst at the same time, because they think people are finding bluffs left and right, and because just the general poker narrative, the bluff catch way too wide, way too often, and way too quickly too. I think regs are actually worse now than they were 2 or 3 years ago, at the micro stakes. The really good ones who've taken a lot of this modern theory on board, they've excelled and they're fucking exceptional. They're way better than the regs used to be. But the regs that are stuck in the bottleneck of 10 and L, 20 and L, 25 and L, maybe even 50 and L, they're just bad, man. They're just bad. They just get so much wrong, and they must just have a life of misery because they are just making so many mistakes, and it's easy to see when you pay attention, where they're getting their ideas from and why they aren't doing very well. So with that in mind, if you'd like to work with someone who produces a graph like this, is my graph just since August. As you can see, I've put a decent sample in 100,000 hands since the start of August, winning at 9 bigs 100. For full disclosure, only all-in BB of 7 bigs 100, but still very, very, very good crushing in modern poker terms. If you'd like to do some work with me and tap into the knowledge and experience of someone who's basically producing graphs like this forever, for as long as I can remember, for like 15 years now, I've been producing this win rate, this graphs. The game's apparently evolved. Apparently, I haven't evolved because I'm an old Nate, but yeah, we're still getting the job done. If we look at all dates here, so this is, I think, my graph for around the last 12 months, maybe slightly more. As you can see, it's an old school 2+2 2008 Crushers graph, isn't it? Just going up and up, bits of break even here and there. And within this, there's been plenty of like bad play from me and, significant flat spots with mental game. You can see that big flat spot there, flat spot there. You can see there's been plenty of spells where things haven't gone to plan because, I don't know, burnout, lack of interest sometimes, frustration. But as you can see, over like the long term here, we're still winning at over, how many hands that is? Nearly 700,000 hands at 7.5 big blinds per 100. Fuck knows how long it's going to take this to populate. Finally, it's populated. So as you can see there, so still above EV, like 7.58 bigs per 100 over 700,000 hands, 7.25 bigs per 100, all in adjusted. Look at that fucking rake bill, by the way. That makes me want to absolutely fucking vomit. Give them 10,000 to these cunts here who provide very good games, but also charge through the fucking nose in rake. So yeah, anyways, there we go. That's the graph. That's the spam out the way. I'm not wanting to do this to like make tons of money or anything. Like that. I just love doing it. I love discussing poker with people. And as I said, if you're willing to allow me to record the session so we can create YouTube content, then I'm happy to do it for nothing. If you'd rather just do it privately, then get in touch and we'll arrange a very, very fair and reasonable fee. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's actually get on with the purpose of today's video, which is looking at some hands. I said these are all from Unibet 25NL. Let's go. Here we have the aces, Balderman, who I just in my head had as Vorderman all day. It's opened. I think this player was definitely on the fishy side. This player was absolutely on the fishy side. Wearing the big blind, so it's just a matter of like what size do we want to make it here. And I can't remember what size I made it, but I'd like to make it pretty big. There's like 3x and a call. I think minimum 15. 15 would be like the smallest I'd want to go here, maybe 16, 17-ish. We don't particularly want a multi-way pot. We don't want to make it too small here, like make it 12 or something. I think a lot of mistakes some more recreational players would make here. They wouldn't want people to fold, so they would like size their 3-bet or their squeeze a little bit too small and then create some problems for themselves down the line. I think like 16, 17-ish is going to be fine here, especially when we're out of position. In position, if we're on the button, I would only be going to maybe 11, 12, 13, something like that. But out of position, we're just going to make it a bit bigger, which is what I did. And we got one call from the fishy guy. I think his range here is going to be probably quite pocket pair heavy. Yeah, just mostly pocket pairs is how I assume his range to be. I don't think that's what he's got in his hand, but it's what I most assume their range to look like. It's going to be like pocket pairs, maybe some pretty suited stuff, but mostly pocket pairs. So in regards to like how big we should see bet here, I think against a recreational player, probably a bit bigger. maybe a shade over half pot. I don't think I do that in this hand. I think I remember I went quite small. But I think a shade over half pot is probably a reasonable size here. If you've got any pocket pairs, they're probably not folding for one bet. Yeah, so yeah, I think actually I'd like to see myself go like 20 big blinds here, something like that, but I'm pretty sure that isn't what I did in game. I actually checked. Don't like that. I think that's a pretty big mistake from me. I don't even think this guy was that aggressive, so it's not even like I was going to try and get a check raise in. Expecting him to bet quite often. Yeah, I don't like that from me there. Turn come to 4. I think after checking, we kind of look a lot like we got ace king in the eyes to the eyes of a recreational player. This might look a lot like ace king, that type of holding. So I think now we can get called twice quite comfortably by using not very big bets and just like hopefully he just does some hero calling with whatever parts of his range he's got here with. We end up going with sub quarter pot. I think this is just not good for me again. It's just too fancy, I think. I think it's just too fancy. River Diamond, not too worried about that, to be honest. I think a flush draw sometimes bets the flop. I think a flush draw sometimes raises the turn. Pocket eights is obviously a hand that's improved on the river. Small number of flush draws, but I still think we're going to have the best hand in nearly all of the time. And I'd like to see myself make a bet of... trying to get called by here. Trying to get called by a range of hands that include Jack X, 8X, pocket sevens, pocket sixes, pocket nines, pocket tens. I think in a region of half pot, maybe just over, just under. See what I actually did in game. Norwich. Just Norwich. This hand, I've just spent 5 minutes or more showing what a fantastic win rate we've got, showing how I'm a proven decent winner in these games. And then the first time we look at, I'm just fucking fancy playing the shit out of it against a fish. This is not clever. Villain calls, and he had the 7-8 or 7-8 suited. So maybe we won close to the max there, but that doesn't mean to say it was a well played hand from me. And to the next hand. This one. There's going to be just a couple of quick ones in here. All I've done here is basically reviewed every hand. I've just replayed every hand that was over like a certain pot size. So this one's nothing to write home about. It's just quite a simple, like, all in pre-flop. You get there. Nothing to see there, really. And I think this next one's in a similar vein. I'm not going to stand on much analysis. I guess we could talk about a 3-bet size here, going just over 3.3x. This guy's clearly a recreational player. This guy's clearly a recreational player. I think a lot of people's standard here would just be to go 9x. I'm not that bothered about that. I like to go just slightly over 3x in position with 3-bets most of the time. When people don't have a minimum, I don't give a fuck. I just tend to go bigger anyway. I don't like this small 3-bet thing. I know solvers love doing it, and it's another thing that like kind of irritates me about quite a lot of like the content creators I watch. They'll use a small raise and they'll see someone use like a bigger 3-bet than 3x, and they'll just be, oh, that's wrong. This guy's bad, whatever. Fuck off, it's nonsense. Solvers want to do that. I get that. Solvers are playing against solvers. Solvers aren't playing against Videx Quinn. Solvers aren't playing against Jumpy Centaur. We're not going to be, we're just going to be 3-betting way more weighted towards like good hands than a solver is. Our opponents are going to be opening way more weighted to like good hands than a solver is. Fuck it, just make it bigger. Just don't fuck around. If you want to be like, look at me, I'm fucking GTO or whatever, good for you. But just make it fucking bigger. Someone's min raising, don't make it 6 blinds. Fucking idiot. Someone's 2.5xing, don't make it 7.5. Let's make it bigger than that. Make it at least 3.3, 3.5. And then when they get up to make it go, maybe going to 3x, maybe just you can go to 9 then or maybe 10. I watched a Ginge Poker video a while back where he was suggesting that you should just have like the same 3-bet size versus any open size. It's like min open, make it 9x, 2.5x, make it 9x, 3x, make it 9x, 3.5x, make it 9x. And I've got quite a lot of time for that. For that theory. But what I don't have time for is these small 3-bets. I also don't have that much time for these like really big polarizing 3-bets out of position either. I think like the way Solver does things is specific to that the ranges it's playing against itself, and they don't bear as much relevance and don't stand up, in my opinion, as well in real poker games against real people, especially against the microstakes. But that's an aside that we don't need to go much further into than that. It's just my opinion. It's just one man's opinion, isn't it? We win another flip. Go us. There are some interesting hands coming. Here we have the aces. You can see there we do 3-bet to 9x. This guy, quite familiar with him. He's a regular. He plays the same name all the time. I don't think he's very good, to be honest with you. But that's not really for me to say. We get a cold call from the small blind, and he goes under the gun. We flop ourselves top set. Right, okay. I wanted to wait before we did this. I wasn't sure with that. I think we can do some checking back here. We just had the board absolutely crushed. But also, we can do some like really small betting, I think. And I did go with the small bet here. We could maybe go slightly bigger. Hope we're cool as somebody with set over set, or hope someone's got the case ace and just like focus on like just making a pot very big against that hand who got cooler. But against the hand who got cooler, we're going to play a big pot anyway. Nothing really at all to protect against here. There's some good shots out there, but that's it. 2 calls. Turn queen. Really good card in my opinion. Either of these players can have queen queen. Hopefully there may be some jack queen out there. There's some very few remaining combos of ace queen. I thought this was like a really good card. Really happy to see it. The only good shot they get says the king 10. If someone's got the king 10, then good for them. So he checks again, and we got called in 2 spots on the flop. I'll beat for a small bet. I decided to go like quite a bit bigger here because I think there's a good chance at least one of these people's going to have a hand they can just call us down with. Be that sets, be that 2 pairs, be that flush draws, be that pair plus straight draw, etc. There's all kinds of holdings out there that can just call big bets now. He goes all in. He calls. Sadly, we can't reopen the betting. We can only call. On the river, we get a completely inconsequential card. This dude just jams. We just have a call. And that was a sensational cooler. It was set over set, beaten by the straight. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? That was quite the cooler, and it's a shame when you're on the wrong end of those things. But that's poker. Here we are with our recreational friend from earlier who had the 8-7. He opened. He did quite a bit of limping, so when he does open, I'll give it a tiny bit more credit for having like some extra strong hands in it. He big bets his flop. He's just got an ace all day, hasn't he? He's just all day, every day got an ace. He's raised pre when he sometimes limps, and now he's big betting the flop. So he's going to play this like his hands face up. He's got ace X. He's going to have ace king, ace queen. A huge amount of the time here. If we're really lucky, he's got pocket 9s, but yeah, we're not going to mess around here. We're just going to fast play. Villain calls. Change the jack. I don't think there's any king queen in his range here. I don't think there's that much pocket jacks that bets bigger than calls, just to break for all intents and purposes. hopefully it's improved his ace jack, something like that. We don't slow down, we just make a large bet. Villain calls. We get a perfect brick on the river, and now it's just a simple all-in. Very simple hand. Yeah, villain had ace king, and no one's surprised to see it. Ace it again. Boom with 3-bet. Get the call. Check. Yeah, we'll go with big bet here against someone who thinks recreational. Again, he's opened from middle position. He's going to be quite pocket pair heavy, you would imagine. But then who knows what his calling range actually looks like. There's going to be other stuff in there that isn't just pocket pairs because he's a recreational player to fish. He's going to have king queen off. He's going to have whatever 10 jack suited. He's going to have He's going to have a very wide range and not much of his improved. So we just go big for value. Just like hopefully get floated by 2 overs with some backdoor draws. If he's got a hand like 10 jack of spades, for example, if he's got all his pocket pairs, pocket fives, probably not folding. Pocket sevens, probably not folding. Nines, tens, jacks, queens, etc. There's loads of value to be had, basically. So we call. We bet he calls. Turn is a 10. He now donks for whatever the fuck size that is, like 12% pot, something like 15% pot. I mean, there's worlds were beat here. One straight's come in, the 9-7, right, so he's got 9-7 suited. It's a thing. It's only a small part of his range. Very, very, very small part of his range. Doesn't always open it pre, probably. Doesn't always depend versus 3-bets. In fact, it's inconsequential. I think sets raise the flop, so that the only way this hand really improved was 10-8 suited, pocket 10s. I think we just raised for value still here. Which is what we do. And now he goes all in. And also, I was less confident in my aces. I was like, shit. This is now, it's a 3-bet pot. He's check call flop. He's like, has he induced on the turn? Like, is he induced, got the raise, and now he's all in? I wasn't happy about it, but clearly we're never folding. Because maybe he's got a draw. Maybe he's got booking 10-8 or something, and we've got some equity. Maybe he's just got a 10. Yeah, it's clearly no folding. We call. Bill just had pocket 3s, and that's why we can't fold. And yeah, we take down a nice sized pot, and that is the end of the hands. There are going to be a few more. I don't know if there's going to be a few more. I'm planning on playing like mix of Unibet and Sky. I've been playing on an iPoker skin, but the fucking rake is really, really getting on my tits. I played a session last night, didn't finish till nearly 4 in the morning. I ended up like losing one big blind on the session. I only played something like 1,000 hands, and they raked me €33 at a 20 cent euro buy-in. So they rate me at like 15 bets. Like, just fuck off, lads. Just fuck off. So I got a bit tilted with them. I logged in to play this morning. There's like 6 tables running. They weren't very good. I'm like, why am I paying this fucking rake for like? And I just got frustrated and a bit tilted with it all. So I withdrew from there and put some money onto Unibet instead. I'm planning on, but you never know with me, I'm planning on mixing both Sky and Unibet this week. Sky in the evenings, trying to play mostly 30NL. Got a mix of like pretty mediocre regs and recreational players there that time of night in those games, and then filling the rest of my time with Unibet because there's just more traffic there at the time, so Sky doesn't have traffic. So whilst I'm playing on Unibet, I'm hoping to make quite a few of these types of videos. Hopefully it won't always just be aces, ace, king, etc. But what can we say? We ran hot this morning. We got good card distribution, and generally speaking, our hands held up. So yeah, There we go. First video back in a while. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Remember, going back to the start of the video, if you've made it this far and you are a losing recreational player, or you're not doing very well, you break even, and you'd like to, and you're short of like a poker pal, I can be that guy for you. As again, either if you're willing to have the content recorded for YouTube, I'm happy to do like a session for nothing. If you'd like to prefer to do it privately and just pay like a little nominal fee, then get in touch and I'll be delighted to chat with you. But for now, we're out of here. I'm off for a nap before I go back and pick my mate up. And yeah, see you later in the week probably. Take care, everybody, and bye bye for now.